Famous Guitars, Episode 8. Strap in, this one's going to be a little convoluted. I think I used that word right. Anyway, let me know in the comment section. This guitar. This is the Paul Stanley PS-10 Ibanez. Of course, most people know it as the Iceman. Well, here's where it gets convoluted. Well, first of all, I'm a big Kiss fan, obviously. Always have been. Ever since the age of 13 when I first got the Love Gun album. And I always remember Kiss were endorsed by Gibson, or they endorsed Gibson actually. So always using Flying V's, Explorers, Les Pauls. You know, of course, we all know that Les Paul was Ace Frehley's instrument of choice, is to this day. But Paul was actually contacted by Ibanez when they did their first Japan tour back in 1977. This is right around the Alive 2 era. And they couldn't even leave the hotel because they were so popular and everything, they couldn't go anywhere. So basically, Ibanez had gotten a hold of Paul, and they were looking to make a signature guitar with Paul's name on it. So basically, they told Paul, look through our catalog, see if there's something that tripped your trigger, and we'll make a signature series for you. So Paul looked through their catalog, and he saw a picture of a guitar that was not terribly popular, but he liked the asymmetrical shape of it, and it reminded him of like a Firebird or a Rickenbacker bass turned upside down. And it had one pickup that looked like it used 3 bobbins instead of 2. And I'll put a picture of it right here. It's a really odd looking guitar, but you'll notice the shape almost immediately. And it also had this wacky knob that looked like something that you're going to change television channels with. And Paul basically was referring to something that was called the Artist 2663 TC. That's what that guitar was called. It was introduced in 1976 in Ibanez's Artist catalog, and the shape is now commonly known as the Iceman, another model in the Artist line. The wacky knob that Paul was referring to is a chicken head knob that was a 4-position switch for the tone selector. So Ibanez was quick to use Paul's name in relation to its newly christened Iceman line. Now, for the first appearance of the Iceman in 1977, Performer fold-out catalog, there's no mention of Paul's name whatsoever in the poster for that year. But in a catalog later that year, in Tomorrow's Name in Guitars, both Paul and Steve Miller, their names are dropped in the Ibanez catalog. Interesting enough, later that catalog would see a disappearance of the last remnants of the old Artist Iceman as the IC210 in the 1977 version of the Artist 2663 TC. I told you this was going to be convoluted. So, what was supposedly the first prototype of the PS-10 surfaced on eBay in an auction in about 2002. A picture from the photo shoot is also used in the very first Ibanez ad for the upcoming Paul Stanley model. So, very similar there. So it's unclear whether this ad in the late 1977 or 1978, but interesting to note that the model named of the guitar in the ad is the IC1000. Now this name was soon changed to the PS-10, and that's what it was called back in 1977. Now I'm going to break away from this article that I actually got from, and you can look this up. This is from Axology.com. Now, I'm going to give you some of my impressions of this guitar. So basically, in 1978, when I first saw the guitar, 77, 78, I've always known it as the PS-10. I remember seeing it in a Guitar Player magazine advertised as the PS-10 model. Paul Stanley would break away from Ibanez, would go to Washburn, Silvertone, and there were several other models he went to. He subsequently came back to Ibanez, where they rechristened the Iceman the PS-10 once again. So you can still pick them up. You can find them on eBay. They're starting to go up in price now because the Iceman line is now, the more popular of the two names. But I remember it, being a Kiss fan originally, as the PS-10 model. But that's your guitar for episode number 8, the Paul Stanley Ibanez PS-10. Like, share, and follow for more famous guitars.